I finally found it, to be honest. It looks really good. So listen, my friends, welcome to this convening. Nice to see you. And I know it is, say, approximately 6 months since we had the UN Civil Society Conference, and a lot of things have been going on. So let me just say hello to people and probably invite people to say hello for the next 3 minutes. Vanessa, where are you tuning in from? Tell us who you are, where you are tuning in from. I want to just pick 3 people for this one. Vanessa, dive right in.
Okay, hello. I'm Vanessa Minde. I am advocating for SDG 7 in Club 17, and I'm currently tuning in from Kakamega in Kenya.
That is Kakamega County. Mercy Awinja, unmute and tell us where you are tuning in from.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mercy Awinja. I'm advocating for SDG number 13, and I'm in Nairobi. Thank you.
I did show you a video, very passionate, Mercy. I love that video.
Thank you.
Let me get to Precious Waweru. And turn your camera on. Tell us where you are tuning in from and the SDG you represent. As Precious tries, Nitia, dive right in.
Hey everyone, I'm Nitya Lohia. I'm a 13-year-old from India, but I'm a UN Youth representative, and I'm here leading the Club 17's SDG 16 group. And my vision for the world is where young people lead the world of fairness, of peace and justice, as per my goal. And hi. Good to see many familiar faces here. Hi, Peter. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are going good.
All right, there we go. Let me go to Gail. Gail, you can turn your camera on so we see who you are. But as you turn your camera on, let me go to Marina. Marina, dive right in.
I'm unable to, this is not working. That's why everything is out. So that I have to be the way that I am. Sorry.
Marina, dive right in.
Hi, I'm Marina. I am from Romania. I'm an activist for non-visible disabilities and mental disorder, and my team is 10. Number 10, reducing inequalities. And despite the fact that I'm mostly focused on disability nowadays, doesn't mean that I will overshadow other type of inequalities such as poverty and other minorities categories, because as you can know, these things are highly connected, and when you want to solve a problem, you have to start solving all of them from the roots. So this is me, and I'm happy to be here today.
I'm looking to us solving these problems from the root there, Marina. Well done. Waliuba, I think we got 1 more minute, and then we can also have our guests introduce ourselves as well shortly. Waliuba Elizabeth, dive right in. Tell us where you are tuning in from, your SDG, and anything you want us to know about you.
Hi, everyone. My name is, I'm not so sure if my video is on, but I hope it is on. My name is Waliuba. It's not. I believe I'm having some challenges, but I'll sort it out after the introduction kindly.
Yeah, no problem.
I am Elizabeth Waliuba. I'm a health professional and also supporting SDG 5, that is gender equality. I am also a founder and director of a local NGO called Imarisha Usawa that is working towards girls and women empowerment in rural areas. And why Imarisha Usawa, going back to rural areas, is because we've seen that so much action is happening in the urban centers, but going back to the rural areas, there is not much that is happening. And if we want to look at the global impact, then we have to cover all the areas, including the rural areas. So thank you so much. And I'm really glad that I'm here with you guys. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gail. You asked me to introduce myself, Peter, before. I didn't get a chance to.
Oh, Gail again. Jump on and tell us who you are, Gail. Do it.
Okay. So, my name is Gail Davis. I'm from the United States, and one of the things that I stand for is sustainable communities and cities. So, what do I do here? I am at the UN, and we focus on solving all 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals worldwide and showing that the 2030 agenda can actually be fulfilled on right now. And so we've been in the process of doing that, and we've been written up for doing that in 2 countries. So that is what I'm here to do. And then we also bring the arts into the UN and showing that the arts can fulfill on solving the SDGs by having artists with a seat at the table, which we have also done. Thank you very much.
There we have Gail from the United States, people from the local communities. Did I forget anyone? In the next 1 minute, can we have Tito? Dive right in, Tito.
Well, hi everybody. My name is Tito Mwenda. I'm an economist. I'm also a finance analyst person. I'm an advocate for SDG 3, which is good health and well-being, and I've come a long way with it since 2021. Yes, so I'm here to passionate the youth and champion the Pact for the future and to localize the goals in a community level. So this is me, this is Tito, yes, and welcome to Team 3. Yeah.
All right, there we go. My friends, if you haven't had a chance to introduce yourself, dive right in on the chat. Just tell us where you are joining us from and what you are expecting from today's session. Talk to us about the SDG you are passionate about, and then we will pick you from there. Terry, did you want to introduce yourself just like right up now before we get to the session itself?
Hey everyone, my name is Terry Oshino. I am in Kenya, a place called Nyeri. It's 2.5 hours away from Nairobi, the capital city. I served as a co-chair for one of the subcommittees, the intergenerational and youth subcommittee during the civil society conference in Nairobi. And I am a global focal point with the Major Act for Children and Youth DRR working group. But I'm also a project officer in UNDRR stakeholder engagement mechanism. And yeah, I am passionate about youth matters and I'm still a youth. So I like making sure that our voices are heard across all platforms and not only heard, but put into consideration and accounted for along the policy process in the UN. Yeah, happy to be here.
There we go. Now we have all the house, all the members who showed up on time, having introduced themselves. For you, call me Peter, your mutual friend, and I will tell you more about myself as we dive along and do all these things. But look, we now have the Pact for the Future, which has got the 5 chapters. As you can see, the 5 chapters right there, and we are building something called Club 17 Impact Coalitions. And for you who will watch this, do remember to spread the word using our hashtags, hashtag Club 17, hashtag Act Now, and hashtag Our Common Future. If you can read behind my t-shirt, it has got that hashtag. So probably everyone in this house, maybe in future, needs to buy the t-shirt and brand themselves. But look, we are gathering here. There is a big problem. And this problem is we are doing so badly in relation to the Sustainable Development Goals. Why? Only 17% of the SDGs are on track. And yesterday we did just ask a bit of thoughts on why why young people think only 17% of SDGs are on track. And I read a lot of them. Marina, I was intrigued by your one. Your one was just like, do you want to tell us I want us to nail that so that like with this problem, why we have only 17% of SDGs on track, and we have all these issues, why we think the SDGs are on track. And I found your post really insightful. Do you want to dive right in and tell us a bit about it, Marina?
Yeah, sure, of course. since I'm also studying history, I know that each country has a unique history and complicated background, which even if we like it or not, we still have to heal as a society on a global scale or on a community scale. But this healing is coming with a little unfavorable perk, and that is the victim mentality. And this victim mentality is the reason why we always try to find excuses, why we always blame or expect somebody else to do. This is the reason why sometimes we are also racist, because we try to find a goat skipper for our problem and so on and so forth. So usually it's more like instead of taking accountability of what we can do, instead of taking the change that you can do on the individual level, and then starting to grow up in a community level, like your close circle community, local, and so on and so forth, pushing it to the edge, to the national, or even why not global scale, we usually are more tempted to intoxicate our daily life with bad news on how everything is going bad, or expect, like I said, somebody, usually the government, to do what we want. But if we are not active in our society, how we will feel represented, how we will make a change visible, how we let people know that good things are actually already happening, if we on an individual level we don't get rid of this victim mentality and try acting. And acting is little effort. Like, you can just post something like Peter asked us to post our thoughts, or just suggest ideas, or if you see a very nice initiative in your local community, share it with your friend. If you share to 3 people, and those 3 people engage with that post, and they also share further, you make a group, and this can expand. So the effort of change is not big, but the acceptance or the choice to make it can be the biggest step you take in your life. So this is from me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my idea. And if you want to dive more and to debate more about it, I'm really happy to find new perspective anytime.
There we go, my friend. Why I did like that, I wanted to paint my picture in relation to that. And this probably is an introduction of myself. Look, everybody want to blame everybody out there, and everybody is complaining about how things are bad. But I want you to think of yourself. For people like me who will have children in future, and we want to nurture them and we want to give them good life, when my children turn up to me, say 20 years from now, and say, Peter, what did you do to create a better life for me? Leave the UN system, leave the organizations we run, and leave everybody out of the equation and think about it. When your children or the people you serve turn around to you and ask you, 20 years from now, what did you do to create a better life for me? What will you tell them? Will you blame the UN? Will you blame your mom? Will you blame your dad? Or will you blame just people around you? And that brings me to the conversation we are looking to have today. With you all, you know clearly it's a Sunday, and you guys are committed to come over here and share your insights and tell us exactly what you are doing to bring that change in the community. And since the United Nations Civil Society Conference happened, you guys have been doing all this, including myself. Nobody's paying us, but we want to see a better world for our children. And I think that inspires me. And that's what drives me to do what I do. I enjoy it and I love it. And that's why working with you and seeing you guys show up on a Sunday makes me want to do more. Because we want to see our children, we want to see our grandchildren have better lives. And that for me is my drive. And I know for you who are making it today here are with me. And that's why whatever it takes, we will play our part to create a better world. So With stories shared, this is what we had. We started in Nairobi, the United Nations Civil Society Conference, which was the first one to be held in Africa. People went to New York for the Pact for the Future, was adopted, and it has got 5 chapters. And together with Terry, we were part of the intergenerational subcommittee. So Terry was my boss, to be honest. So I'm happy to have Terry over here to just take us through the journey. I know she has been involved deeply in all these things we are doing, and she has more insights on what's going on and probably more details about things that are happening. So Terry, dive right in. Terry, unmute.
Oh, there we go. I forgot. Always being too careful. But thank you. So, okay. I urge all states to support the adoption of the Pact of the Future and its annexes. This resounding statement was made by the moderator at the beginning of the opening ceremony of the Summit of the Future, where the Pact of the Future and its annexes, the Global Digital Compact and Declaration on Future Generation were adopted. This statement is etched in the memories of non-state actors as a reminder of who the penholders are. Those who ratify policy frameworks at the UN are the member states. Thus, the lingering question of what this reality means to civil society remains. Should the fate of our future, of the whole society, be left to a certain set of entities? So this is the question that I have as one of the civil society actors who engage in the civil society events leading up to the Summit of the Future. So we know that the goal of the Summit of the Future was to make sure that we figure out, or rather in formal statement, was to reimagine and strengthen the frameworks that govern the global corporations. And when you think about these frameworks, the first one that we have in mind is the 2030 agenda. That is the 17 sustainable development goals that this Club 17 is focusing on. But much more, the Summit of the Future was focusing on across all the frameworks. So there was the 2030 agenda, we have the Paris Agreement, and we have many more. And so the question is, should the fate of our sustainable future, which includes us as civil society, be left to a particular set of entities? And in this case, when I recall this opening statement, you see it was directed to member states. So, or is it time for us as civil society to take action by ourselves? And this is where we come in as the Club 17, where, like you are civil society, you might not be in the UN, you might not be at the global level, but then what are you doing at the grassroots level? Because that is you taking your future, taking control of your future by yourself through your organization and through a partnership that can allow you to move forward the implementation and acceleration of the 2030 agenda and many more frameworks. And so reflecting back on how we started, of course, we know we had the civil society conference that was supporting the Summit of the Future, and this gave the civil society, more than 2,500 organizations and individuals met in Nairobi to discuss their vision, their ideas, and their needs into what can happen to accelerate the current frameworks in the implementation. But at the same time, you can this summit also brought us together, civil society actors, to allow us to discuss and brainstorm new ways to address the emerging challenges that have occurred since, the start of the adoption of the 2030 agenda, that is in 2015, and might have not been addressed. So there was a gap, and the Summit of the Future was here to allow us to bring in new ways to address these gaps. But the lingering question is, did that happen? However, if you look at the adopted Pact of the Future and its two annexes, the Global Digital Compact and the Declaration on Future Generations, from the perspective of someone who advocates for resilience and risk reduction strategies like me, I had several mentions that were noteworthy that came into the Pact. I know that we have so many references and we have 56 actions, but in all of them, we have action 44 that brings in mind the leaving no one behind, which is one of the calls of DRR advocates like me. And then we have emergency humanitarian assistance in the face of inevitable disasters. This is where we as people who prefer anticipatory action instead of reactive nature of things. So when we see that humanitarian assistance is given and is mentioned in the pact and given priority, we like it so much, and it was mentioned in action 3 paragraph 22a. And then we have integrating disaster risk reduction for sustainable development and resilience that has been mentioned in action 6 paragraph 25. And then we have the strengthening of early warning systems for global resilience and peace, which is mentioned in Action 9, paragraph 28. And also in the Global Digital Compact, it is mentioned in Objective 4, paragraph 45C. And so we can see that through its own ways, while we as civil society were trying to advocate for different and various perspectives to get into the pact, we managed to do that. But still, the question of who is responsible for making a sustainable future for all of us remains. And that is where through this initiative of Club 17 and many more that are initiated and are a collaboration of civil society actors are really important. This is one of the I would say the most effective ways to make sure that we indeed make sure that the 17 Sustainable Development Goals are implemented and within this short period that remains before we start thinking of the follow-up framework, but that will follow after it. But at the same time, to bring real change, to take action as the people at the grassroots, because we are the ones who face the consequences of having inactive policy frameworks. Like if you end up having a really good document that gives you a way forward, a way to address issues and gaps, and no one is there to implement them, then you have a gap where at the global level, theory-wise, people think things are moving, but in the reality, the last mile people who are us on the ground suffer. And so that is why this initiative and many more that will come up to these are very important to move forward the Pact of the Future, the Declaration on Future Generation, and the Global Digital Compact actions as we move forward. Take it back to you, Peter.
There we go. I like it, Terry, when you mentioned like the areas of focus. I only captured the action 44 and the number of the pack. Like there are a number of, they say there are like 56 actions on the pact. Is that correct, Terry? So each and every one of us, Terry, thank you for mentioning action 44. I will ensure I read it because I did not know what it entails, but I will ensure I go back and read it. But if I'm to come back and tell you like what I do and my action point, if you have the document open, I want you to go read action 11. Action 11. Anybody with the action, anybody with the pact open? Okay, action 11, now bringing me back to what I do and what we do with the UN Department of Global Communications is football for the good. Okay, Gail, you have it open. Then read for us action 11, what it says. What does it say?
Action 11 under which one? Let me just find it. 1 second.
The first one, sustainable development for and financing for development.
Okay, just 1 moment and I'll have it for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Action 11. Do you want us to read the whole thing or?
Just read the 11. That is point like on the introduction part.
Just you
Just
just
read
want the
action
intro.
11. Yeah, read
Okay.
11 for us.
We will protect and promote culture and sport as integral components of sustainable development.
All right, good. So if you see my screen somewhere, it has got football for the goals. So what we do, it's a matter of mobilizing people through sports to bring them together to use various sports. No, use football as a tool to advocate for the sustainable development goals. So that is where I come from. Each and every one of us in here can go and read the Pact for the Future and clearly look at where you can align yourself. And once you see that on the Pact for the Future and you align that with the SDGs, you will agree with me that all of us have a role to play to get us to where we want. But Terry, again, thank you for taking us through the journey and all that has been going on to now where we are today. We appreciate you for creating time to be with us today. Now, all of you have stated, and some of you went on the chat on our WhatsApp group, and you guys shared why we think only 17% of the sustainable development goals are on track. Poverty, and Marina have just shared her personalized story on the victim mentality. We think somebody somewhere needs to come and solve our issues. We pass the blame on to somebody else. People spoke about rapid modernization. Sorry?
Peter, can I have a short comment here?
Yeah, go for it.
So what I also want to add on this, because like you mentioned, we are very grateful for each of you taking action, and your work is meaningful. But moreover than this, you also have to understand that you don't have to compare your work with somebody else, because each of us is unique. Each of us has their own particularities and their own struggle, their own lesson to learn. So, and it's the same also in my little article or post. I said that sometimes when we start comparing ourselves with others, we are more focused on the competition, and we transform this competition in an unhealthy manner instead of just focusing on how to climb or how to learn from people who already done that. So instead of looking at somebody who is more advanced than you with hate or jealousy, better look at it as an opportunity to learn, because it's a gold mine of mistakes they've done and learn from, and you can learn also from it. So yeah, this is what I also wanted, and sorry for interrupting you, because I feel like it was relatable to what you already mentioned and what you are going to now to analyze all those opinion that we had. Because when I saw poverty big there in the middle, I know that that was in the mind of many of us, and I can agree. But I really want to say it now since I have the mic, to say that don't say to people that face poverty that they can't do something, because you are the very reason that the person won't be able, because you are you are teaching that person that he or she or the community can't do what they are dreaming of. So you are the reason why you are the one planting the victim mentality in their community. So I know the statistics are worrying, but they don't have to know that. You have to empower them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Marina, for diving right in to elaborate more of that. That again gives us more insights in terms of all these challenges. So the point why I brought this up, we now know, at least somebody went out and did a research and told us at least we are on 17%, meaning if we were playing a match, we already know we are like top down. We are not getting anywhere. Like, let's say, at least we are trying, but we need to work a little bit high up, like up our game. So if you look back, meaning we have spent 3,650 days and we have only 17% on track. And if you look at the days left before we get to 2030, we have 1,865 days. What does then this mean to us? Just like again with football, we are past halftime, yet we need to score goals to equalize and even to win the match if we can. This means we need to like push a little bit really hard. People might be saying, well, we can't achieve the SDGs by 2030. Personally, I'm so confident we can. If people just go out and do what they need to be doing, we can be able to achieve the SDGs by 2030. But before I dive deeper in and bring even Tito to share about his team, I want you to imagine a football match. Because that's my passion. I love it. You wake me up in the middle of the night to talk to me about football and how it can be used to drive change. I'm more fired up. But I want you to imagine a football team with 11 players. They know exactly they are playing for one team. But what then happens, they know very well what their goalpost is, but they are kicking this ball towards several goalposts. And they are scoring this goal, like these goals everywhere. Nobody's tracking how many goals have been scored. Everybody's just running away in the field with the ball and scoring everywhere. And that is what we have. An example, for example, Kenya. You look at an example who somebody like might be Nairobi or somebody might be in a rural area. You go into a village and you find 10 organizations all working for SDG 1, but they do not want to collaborate. And they are within the same locality and they are not collaborating. You ask them, tell me what you are doing. Well, I'm eradicating poverty or doing this one, but XYZ is also doing the same. So I wanted to pause there a minute and just paint that picture to you. I know some of you are not footballers, but I want you to imagine any game where you have several players knowing where their goalpost is, but they are not scoring in that one goalpost. Everybody's everywhere trying to score everywhere, no plan, no nothing. They're like just out there trying to play their game, you see. Now, here then comes Club 17. And Club 17 aims at going into a city, for example, look at Kenya, look at Romania, look at India, look at all these countries in the world, okay? But I want you to come to Kenya alone and narrow down to a city, for example, our capital city of Nairobi. And you have several NGOs, several civil society organizations, and even so many of them. Get them to coalesce, to come together around a specific sustainable development goal. Get all of them. Like, let's say, if you are working on SDG, you can't be everywhere, scoring goals everywhere. You need to know the goal. An example, you need to belong to one sustainable development goal. And then join the other people working on that sustainable development goal. And then together, you can now champion that agenda, scoring towards one particular goal. Now, Club 17 comes to start something like that. Just like Marina did say, we tend sometimes to compete to an extent that we ignore our powers to collaborate and do things together. Now, if you look at Club 17, this is the simple plan for Club 17. Get people working on a similar SDG in a particular city together and get them to work with communities to co-create a solution to the problem or to a solution to the problem they are solving. An example, Global Youth Forum, where I am based, we work to eradicate poverty. Now, how do this community we serve want to eradicate their poverty? And once we build a project together, we work again to implement that project. And once that project is implemented, the implementers come and share their output, like the result. A result would be, you cannot turn around and say, we have empowered over 5,000 people. An example, you are working on SDG 8. We want a smart impact. Well, we started working with XYZ and we have gotten 15 young people or these 10 people into job opportunities. So you can't just come and give us numbers that we can't verify. And that is the process of the Club 17. You can't just turn around and host like a training. What did you actually achieve with the training that got people, for example, out of that poverty? And then you report that to the national group. Like, let's say we have a chain, an example, a government can say, this ministry is the one responsible for the sustainable development goals, and every member needs to report their impact to this group. So at the end of the year, in this case, we are talking about a football match, we need to know which team scored how many goals and where were those goals scored. Now, you look around the process to get into Club 17, all you need to do is to take this challenge, which I know all of you have taken. So I appreciate each and every one of you for diving in to take this wonderful challenge. So it is simple. We get to know what SDG people are passionate about, get them to a group, get them to start an SDG project, and then implement that project, and then they come back and report. Gail, I'm coming to you shortly. I see a hand up. But if you want to summarize the entire theme for Club 17 Impact Coalition, or how the journey might look like, this is the journey. But it will comprise of 17 teams, which I know like now in this house, we are over 17, meaning 17 team leaders building 17 teams, and each team is made up of 17 members. The projects will be judged by 3 judges. We can increase the number at some point based on what you guys will say. But these judges could be our intergenerational and subcommittee co-chairs. I'm glad Terry joined us. So she might be our judge to see how this project perform, who can we award, and who do we need to support going forward. At the end of it, we will have a champion, first runner-up, and a second runner-up. What then this means? Meaning these are valid projects that can be scaled across the globe. Meaning this organization can be supported to apply for grants, get resources from across the globe to expand or share their best practices. Now, if I look at the tasks we need to do, Tita, I'm coming to you just shortly on this one, but I want you to think deeply on Club 17 and what we are setting up. It is not going to be easy, but for sure I know it is fun, because people will be driving the change they do want to see without restrictions. So you bring your tribe, you start thinking around a project, and you work together to implement that project. So our tasks, as we just look as leaders, will be to mobilize 17 club leaders. I think we have 13 solid now. I'm just like looking at 4 more. Then we will provide a capacity building. Again, within ourselves, we have experts, we have people who are experienced who can help us provide this capacity. So we will train members to develop an SDG project and probably how they can mobilize resources and get things going. And then once you develop that project, you enter a championship where people now compete to implement their projects and deliver impact. Then your projects will be monitored, we will record, and we will evaluate your work in terms of the impact, and then you will enter the award scheme. So what then this entails, it means creating a strategy and a work plan for various teams to be able to deliver impact, report that impact, and ensure they impact local communities to achieve the SDGs by 2030. So in a nutshell, that is the breakdown of what we are looking at. And if you look at our rough idea, this is like the annual plan on how it looks like. We will be diving more into it with a bigger aim of keeping Nairobi Moment alive. What I mean by Nairobi Moment is the UN Civil Society Conference was held on 10th and 9th of May. So there is where we aim to award the team players, the champions, the first runners up, and the runners up. So that is the nut breakdown of what we look like, we look to achieve. And before I bring Tito in to tell us what he has been doing and what his thoughts are, I want you to look at this. When I look at this, I feel so excited and I feel so happy about it. Imagine us having 17 teams like this, each member going out and addressing their issue, doing your small part, like Marina did tell us, just playing our little part and reporting back on that our little impact. So with that, I welcome Tito to take us through what he has. Gail, I will come to you shortly. We got Q&A or the engagement segment coming along shortly. We might just run, say, 5 extra minutes because we started late. So Tito, can we hear from you what you've been doing? Feel free to share your screen.
Wonderful, Peter. I hope you can hear me. And I want to thank Marina. I want to thank Terry. I want to thank you and everybody who has joined us for the comments that you've done. So I just want to highlight what we are doing at SDG3. We are championing good health and well-being. And in this goal, we'll be looking at to reduce the enhanced greenhouse effect in healthcare centers. And I just want to echo that what Dr. Tedros said in the 77th World Health Assembly. So the WHO director, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, said that the health gains from climate action and adaptation outweigh the cost and are a compelling argument for stronger climate action. He said that the climate action that we are doing, we are investing in health centers, is more outweighing the cost of not doing so. So we are on the right track. And I also want to share that the UN actually started championing SDG 3 globally on COP26 meeting, which was done in the UK in 2021. And there has been a progress of discussions and panel meetings up to now, the COP29, which shoots of our proposed project, which we want to do with our team. And in this team, we will be looking at problem statements in the health.
Tito, are you carrying on or you just stopped? Well, as Tito does that, I wanted to paint a picture for you. I know a lot of things are going on around the globe. A lot of people are doing the talks, and very few people are actually getting the jobs done. So Tito, again, and other members, I know Najma has got 11 members. You guys are doing a really amazing job. I want to assure you that if we get this one right, in the next 2 years, we will be reporting one of the best performance in this particular space based on what we will have achieved. Because you will agree with me, not so many people are going out there to put in the work and share what they are doing. You guys are coming out nicely and keen to share what you guys are doing and ready to change the world. I don't know, Tito, if you are still there, but all I know is what we are doing is going to be hard.
I'll tell you when I'm ready.
Yeah. So Tito have gone out. He has mobilized 17 members. Najma has, Gail is. I see Elizabeth and everybody's going out to get your tribe into this movement. And nobody's paying you to do it. And I can tell you, when the money comes, when it will come, I'm confident you guys are going to make an impact. And that's why I wanted Tito to take us through his journey, so we can also pick tips, ideas, and skills from his work, and then we can go out or probably share our thoughts and then dive into real thing that we want to do as a team, getting inspirations from our members who have gone out to do stuff. Tito, I still see your presentation is still stuck somewhere, I think.
Yeah. But before I start presenting, I would like to share some tips which have helped me mobilize my team up to where it is. So I think for the first time, I realized that this is a challenge. So I looked at who I contact quickly, who can I talk to about this challenge. So I identified a group of 10 individuals, which I added them to a specific group. And mostly these individuals are CEOs in their own companies. So I was leading up. That's a strategy of leading up, helping them make decisions and understanding about the SDG goal because it's in line with what they are doing. I can champion a few people that I talk to. I talk to Esaka Dioli. She has a company in food production and nutrition, but she's my co-chair in this. I can champion Michelle also. She's a law student. She's my vice chair on this. I can champion also Sherry Karevi. She's also a founder at the Smiles Impact Foundation and also a volunteer coordinator in this. So that's did it by leading up. So I took these individuals, educated them about the SDG goal, aligned whatever they're doing to the targets of the SDG, and now we were good to go to take the video and do the production. So that was one. And secondly, I leaded laterally in the people that are with me in the lateral area. So I ensure that they do understand what they are doing, what they are taking, what is this in for them. So I made them understand and not leaving them behind, hanging. So I kept them in the loop, and that's how I made it to this team and so that was my major tip. And I think leadership starts with you and starts to lead for others and not for yourself. So, Peter, is it okay? Can you see my presentation? Can I start it?
Yes, go for it.
Yes. Right. Okay. So we looked at what we can do in the health sector, and one thing is to reduce the enhanced greenhouse effect, which is contributed by excess waste disposal and also inefficient ways of handling energy and also the disposal of e-waste. So this is a project that we proposed to you and discuss with the members, and so we should start with the safe waste management in healthcare centers. So because they reduce the greenhouse effect in healthcare centers, and we are looking to actually tally 10 hospitals or 9 or maybe even 20. So our project aims to address the growing environmental impact of healthcare facilities in Nairobi, Kenya. We focus on reducing greenhouse emissions through improved waste management and uh, energy efficient practices. Peter, my laptop is kind of slow, so you have to bear with me in this. So I would like to read the project statement before we go to the project phase. So um, that's perfect. So we are targeting, our target is to target 10 hospitals across Nairobi. We are looking to target 5 major hospitals, considering Nairobi Hospital, Kenyatta National Hospital, KU Referral, and also other these hospitals that are in eastern parts of Nairobi. We can check what they're doing in Kibera, if they are handling their waste. So we have a name of that, so I don't forget. But we want to tackle the hospitals in the urban centers and in the slum centers. So that's our first target. The second one is focusing on sustainable management and safe waste waste disposal. Then the method we are going to do this, we are going to do site visit, workshops, and collaborative sessions. And the goal is to lower the emissions and mitigate the environmental harm. So this is the project plan now. So we look forward to on week 1 to launch and assess the project. So conduct site visit, collect data on current practices. Then week 2 and 4, training and implementation. This will be done to deliver training sessions with the healthcare providers and also within our team members also. And then for week 5 is to monitor and evaluate. This is to assess improvements and develop a final report. So we are looking at a cost breakdown, which could be the trainer fees, then the transport, then the materials and supplies, then the overhead cost, and now the total project cost, which could cost around 350,000. So the goals of the project outcome will be to reduce the waste reduction in these healthcare centers and the environment. So 30% in recyclable waste through improved sorting and recycling. Then we look at the emission of mercury to the air due to the disposal of e-waste. So we look forward to mitigate this cost because we know the mitigation costs, as Dr. Tedros said, are far much more better or much more higher than the cost which is used to treat these diseases. So we look forward also to come up with ways which we can implement energy consumption during the hospitals, such that when the power is out, we can have the light come back and do not interfere with major hospital procedures. So this is something we look forward to implement in our implementation of our plan. So we have training and awareness. So this is how it can be measured. We can say we trained 100 health workers across 10 facilities on sustainable practice. The community outreach, we reached 100,000 people through awareness campaigns and social media, and we have the documentation of that. Then stakeholder collaboration, we actually look forward to work with the Global Youth Forum, individuals and the team and the club, partner for youth engagement and innovative ideas. Then we look forward to partner with the Ministry of Health for government support and policy alignment. We look forward also to partner with county health departments, local expertise and implementation support, and also environmental NGOs. This could be the UN in population, the UNICEF, and other organizations that are environmentals. So we look forward to work with them, like Care International, like Roy Teres, Des Homes. We look forward work with these organizations. So the expected impact will be improved waste management and efficient energy efficiency in 10 hospitals. Then we look forward to the short term is to reduce the greenhouse enhancing effect and increase staff awareness. And then city adoption of sustainable practices in healthcare. So that's my presentation, Peter. And I would really like to say that there is a interlink between climate and health, and there is a lot of just in an example where we can see we can see 7 million people per year dying globally because of air pollution. I think we have a lot of work to do here. We have a lot of steps to take to be able to make this project a reality. So, Peter, that's my presentation, and that's what we have for SDG 3. Thank you so much, Peter.
All right.
Peter, can I ask Tito a question about his presentation? It's a quick question.
Go for it.
Tito, how do you intend to measure at the end of your results? How do you intend to measure the emissions?
Okay. Gail, want to pause you there for a second. But Tito, did you get the question? Note it somewhere. Gail, do you want to add something on your question?
Yeah. That wasn't a question that I raised my hand for. I was just asking Tito, just for later, how do you intend to measure where the emissions are now and where the emissions will be when your project comes to fulfilled on? Thank you.
Like the equation of the whole.
I want to mute people over here. But you know why? Tito came with a proposal, but I want to tell you, Tito, that's a really good start. And I wanted to come and tell us that with the tips you've shared. Now, there is a program we will all go through, and it will entail engaging the stakeholders and the people you want to work with to co-create that product. All we are not working to achieve is the mentality of people designing programs in their offices and then throwing it at people. We want to be able to work with communities to develop a program and do you call it a prototype. And we will be coming to that. So note Gail's question over there. It's really good for you. But now, with that said, I know Najma is somewhere here also doing some really good work. Najma's team is Najma is only left with six members before she hits. Nitia, I know your membership is around 8. So as Tito gets to that stage, meaning Tito have managed to build a team around what he wants to do and the vision he has for his team, meaning he can go ahead and start doing something. Now, for us who are not yet there, we need to also start looking at who are we bringing on board. As a leader, what vision do you have for them? What path do you want them to take so that when they deviate, you know where to bring them back? Now, put the Tito's presentation in a solid corner, and I want you now just to engage for the next 6 minutes on the overall view on what you think about Club 17. How does this approach look like for you? What can we remove or add? And how can we make this dream or vision that I think I might have for this team happen? And we want to just narrow it down, and I will be taking notes. So here, we are not reacting on Tito's presentation because we know now where he sits, but we want to spend 6 minutes looking at the process of the Club 17. And I will tell you this for a fact. We haven't registered this as a coalition yet because we want to be sure that when we register this coalition, it is something that will live for the long term. We don't want to rush the process. People are rushing into things, people are doing things, but we want to take it slow and steady and ensure that this coalition can stand on itself and deliver impact, supporting you guys in terms of implementing what you are coming up with towards realizing the vision and the dreams you have for your team. So, the reactions. What are your thoughts? Because I've taken you like now what we aim to do, the thoughts, and Tito is there having showed us what is possible and now starting to build things through. What are your thoughts? Let me start with Gail because Gail's hand was up. Gail, go for it.
I'll wait a little bit. After looking at Tito and listening to you, I just want to think a little further.
Okay. Now, who wants to dive right in and give us insights? And this is now called We Are Building It Together. I had sort of an idea. I've put it on paper. We've gotten the first team already full, and now we want to start the process. Tell me what your thoughts are. Is it, when I was starting something, somebody called my project a crap? Is this thing we are creating a crap?
No.
Or do you think it can change the world? Now, open. The floor is now open. I'll be listening behind the scene and taking notes as well. Anyone? Dive right in. Talk to me.
I'll say something. This is Gail. I think what's missing for me personally, and I think for a lot of people, there's 2 things. One thing is something Marina said earlier that I liked and I share often. There's a lot of people with egos and the way that they think things should go. There's a lot of people that think about the UN and that's the big picture. And I'm at the UN every day and it's not the big picture. There are people just like you and I. So I think we have to look at every individual on the planet is the answer to taking an action. Okay, so that's one. Number 2, in terms of Club 17, there was something, Peter, and maybe you can help me here, that you shared on the screen earlier. And so there are 17 people, 17 groups for 17 goals. But also, how can we get the world involved? Okay? To get the world involved, period. Because the people who know the best about their ecosystems are the people in their communities. And they know what they need, but sometimes they are so used to what they have and in their comfort zone, they often may want to do something, but they often say, well, I don't know how. Okay. And so that is where I think that I do think actually Tito's presentation was excellent, because I did see where he could involve the entire, let's say, as Peter said, we start with one community. And when you start with that one community, okay, you look at how that one community, all those NGOs that Peter spoke of, and we look at Tito's presentation, we can start with that one community, whoever it may be, with those, let's say Nairobi. And so, long story short of it, you look at all the NGOs that are committed to health and well-being, and you look at the people that they're serving, their beneficiaries. And when you look at their beneficiaries, how can you get the beneficiaries involved? That they become responsible for their own health and well-being. And that translates, you've now got the people, and now you look at the ministry. Before we even get to the ministry serves one area. Every stakeholder serves an area. But there are places where Tito or Peter or all of you can go in spaces and places that government cannot. So those are the places that you want to look at. And those are not just the citizens on the ground, they're the educators, they're the students, they're the universities. You want to go in all those places and begin to look at each person is the solution. So that's just my thoughts.
Gail, thank you. Someone else, dive in. Seems like we are going to take longer here. Go for it, Marina.
Okay.
Then Justin, I come to you.
Great. So to complete what Gail just said, hope I pronounced your names correctly. I'm sorry if I'm not. So the thing is, it's called design thinking, and I recommend you to check it out on Google, what it is and how it works, because when you do a project, we are sometimes so stuck in our idea that we have to reach that objective, which is healthy, which is okay. I recommend you to do that. But especially when you are coming with an innovation, you don't know what to expect next, especially if you haven't done your research right on time. So design thinking is this idea of experimenting and bringing prototypes on your path. Like to give you a more visualized example is the way architecture make prototypes of the building and test it out and see if the client like it or not, and not just make it the whole building and the client will be, well, I really don't like that, So it's more like trying, experimenting, initiating conversation with other people, and try to engage with other people in order to see that your idea is really meant for your target group, or it's just a problem that you created in your brain and it's not really a problem there. So, or it's an invitation to experiment and also communicate your idea with more people with different perspective, because like you said, egoistic mindset sometimes can blind us from solution because we are so stuck in our way and we can't see the other way around. The second thing that I want to say is, yes, I also agree on thing that we should see people as like anyone, like United Nation or any country as people, because in this way, if we look in a more psychological manner or even a bit of history, but I know not everyone is doing that, you can learn more and go resolve problem from the root, because it's usually generation are mirroring each other. So my problem is probably or for sure a problem that also my mom had, and so on in the past, but we just react differently, or we are just having different tools for resolving it. And by that, what I mean by this, usually we, like I said, with the victim mentality, we have this tendency of pointing out to people and going like, no, the government should do that. But I am a strong believer that the masses are the one able to create the real changes, because again, if you look back to the history, most of the revolution have been done because a lot of people gather together and push an idea, push a concept, push something, a change they want to see. So gather your people, try to reach in different point, strategic point, and go first from the make your prototype in your very local community where you have friend and you have everything familiar already, and then you can expand. So these are my ideas, and sorry if I talk too much.
Marina, I think you bring a really solid point in terms of design thinking. I did that training during my Young African Leadership Initiative, and that's the path we want to take, where you co-create with people. And that is, I'm glad you brought that up, meaning we are already seeing a trainer in the house. And Tito did have some training and capacity building. Tito, you are sorted. Now, Najma, dive right in, and then Niti, I see your hand up, and then Liz, I see you are next. Guys, this conversation is really helpful. Why I tell you so, we just don't want to turn around and give people stuff. We want to do things that will resonate with the society or the community we serve. Najma, go for it.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you so much, Gail, and everyone who has actually put any input here. So maybe I could
Wait, Najma, are you able to turn your camera on?
No, I'm on my way home. I had to stop because I was outside. I'm doing a campaign. Yes, I had to stop somewhere. Yeah. So just to put on, like, or rather add on whatever Gail was mentioning about the aspect of inclusivity and getting insights from like a worldwide insight. I really wanted him to emphasize on which aspect of inclusivity, because as for us here personally, based on how I've known Peter and whatever we are doing so far, I feel like Peter has really tried to embrace the aspect of youth's involvement in aspects to do with decision making and also getting things to work so that we can have a better future. So I feel like the aspect of intergenerational approach is also a good thing. But then if we look at our future, it's majorly the youth who need to be involved in activities that we're doing right now, because we actually are futuristic, let me say that, and we know what is right and what is wrong, personally, from my point of view. And we also at this point where we want things to be done to the maximum utilization, and I feel like that's the approach we need. So in as much as we're going to bring the aspect of the intergenerational approach, I feel like the youths are the most important individuals when it comes to establishing most of the objectives that we have in place.
Okay. Okay, good. So let me see if my camera, I can find my camera. I did manage to find it. So starting from the top, we had individual actions. That was Gail. Gail stress individual actions and not just putting, oh, it is you and it is government. It is me as an individual. And then Marina came and talked to us about design thinking. How are you engaging the community to design that the solution to that problem? Maybe you are addressing something that is not a problem. Najma is saying that the youth are very important and we need to listen to them and get them involved. And the intergenerational aspect is really, really key. Nitia, do you want to dive right in? And I see Vanessa and Mrunmai also joining us as well. I hope I got that name correct.
Peter, this is, I wouldn't interrupt, but this is something very important that I think that would want to be said. It'll be less than 30 seconds. Is it okay? It'll be less because it's something I'm trying. I want to say something. When you guys say that the youth are the future, you are not the future. We are all the future together. And this must be understood, because until it's a biological fact, until you're 25, that's when you really start to understand what the maturity of decisions are. The first 20 years, your parents were telling you what to do. So after that 20 year, you're developing yourself and finding out what's important to you. And it's fair that you have that journey, not focused on saving the world, but focus on what it is you want to do with your life. Now, I know most adults will tell you what you want to hear. I'm not one of them. So If you guys hate me for that, that's okay. I'm cool with that. I'm like Peter in that sense. I work with people of all ages, and we work together, and we don't look at age. So, but that is a fact. The future is everyone together. It is not just the youth. It is all of us together. And I just want people to realize that, because when we focus on just the youth and say they're the future, then you come back and you ask for advice. No, we need advice from you. You need advice. We're all working together, and we are all the future. And the way the world is going right now, we're going to need each other. And so it's like what Peter said, connecting together. That's all I wanted to say, and I have no more to say.
I've just added on your name. Oh, I've just added something on your name, Gail. I said, like you said, this one needs to go out there, everyone. I won't be here if I didn't have the backup of the older generation behind me. I'll tell you that for a fact, my friends. I have a really huge support behind me, and there are people older than me. I won't be doing what I do if I didn't have their support. So everyone together. Now, Najma, not Najma, but Najma, we got your point there. Nitya, dive right in.
Okay, so whatever I see in a common of all the responses was we actually need everybody, every single one to create change. We need a whole world. It's not my future, it's not your future, it's the future of all of us. And we need every single body right at the Club 17 to create the change they wish to see. Honestly, I think one reason we are behind is because awareness is often limited to certain groups, usually those who are already involved or interested in those SDGs and diplomacy. Basically, what we can do, imagine if more people knew what they could do to make an impact on the SDG. Would this alone increase our progress? Maybe we need stronger campaigns that are accessible to everyone, every single person in the whole world, across communities, languages, and backgrounds. So it's not just about what we do individually, it's about what us do together. Like Gail, Nashma, like all of us guys mentioned that we need the whole world, and we need to bring the whole world to Club 17. We need a shift in narrative to show personal stake. People need to feel a personal connection to the future of the planet. It's not about saving the world. It's about protecting their homes, their health, and communities, even ours. By shifting the narrative to empathize the immediate and local impacts of global challenges, people can see how climate change, inequality, and other issues directly affect their life. Campaigns are so important so that we are not, we are not in the loop of the people who are interested, but we are also getting out of that loop to engage more people. Actually, we need to educate the whole world about the SDGs. We need to educate the whole world like what it is needed to create a real change in the whole world, the change we wish to see. Because at the end, it's about our efforts. We need to involve everyday voices in decision making. We need everybody because it's our future. Suppose, see, would you like if someone is taking decisions for you? Would you? For sure you would not. So here same comes into SDG sub stuff. We are the people here. We are representing each other, and we are putting out decisions for so many people who don't even know the meeting is on. We actually need to educate them that the future isn't safe. Somebody is speaking for them. We actually need to educate the people. Often global issues feel distant because people don't feel their voices are heard. Club 17 and others like it could create local community listening sessions or online spaces like we always do, to where people worldwide can share their concerns, ideas, and experiences, something which we are doing right now. But we can see the participants right here. We need to get more awareness that this is happening so that we can have a good amount of people sharing their thoughts. And I feel that we can have a real leverage social media for mass education and engagement, something which is Marina is real good at. So we can have it all. We can have it all done. And what we can do is that we the people can really stand up with the skills at Club 17, and we can bring the whole world to here, because it's the decision we make for each one of us. So I feel that it all starts when a child is young. I'm 13, so we actually need the schools to get the SDGs education. I study science, but I never studied about SDG. Even people in my school doesn't even know what diplomacy is really, what is SDGs are really. And this is the youth of the world. The youth doesn't know what's happening beside them. There's a only loop of people who are interested. Here at the Club 17, the real change we can bring is that bring people out of those interest in diplomacy. We have to get all each one of us to get into and work into SDGs to create a change for the whole world, because actually it's the future of our sake. I see
Marina. Right.
Yeah,
good. Right on time. Good. To echo Nitya, educational campaign, school involvement. Let me bring Liz. We are just like 7 more minutes, my friend. So I'll tell you how these conversations will go in the future. So we stick on our time. But Liz, do you want to dive right in?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Peter. Unfortunately, I'm still unable to access my video, but please bear with me.
Fine. Yeah, go for it.
So, I was listening to our submissions, and I would like to take us back to the 3 questions that Peter asked that I believe we were not so keen to answering, rather than arguing on how we are going to do. So Peter asked what we think about Club 17. And I believe this is a really good initiative, because we are all talking about collaboration. We are all talking about having an inclusive mode of development or delivery. And if we think about inclusivity, let us look at what Peter has come up with. The Club 17, what is it about? What does it entail? How are we going to do it? It's all about collaboration. It's all about partnership. It's all about bringing in people of different natures to come and work towards a common goal. So yes, I am in support of Club 17. And I would also like to speak to Gail. I know Gail has been very vocal about involvement of the older people. And I would like to ask, how long are we into the implementation of the SDGs, and what is the progress? At 17%, these people have been there. They've done what they could have done. And we are at 17%. So not to put them aside, but to seek guidance is okay. For them to handhold the youth is okay. But now maybe it is our time, the youth, to now champion this, to take charge and show that we can do it and we are capable of doing it. I am very proud that Nitya, who's only 13 years old, is here. We don't need to wait for 25, as Gail has mentioned, for us to now start taking charge of our lives. We don't need to be handheld by our parents as old as 20, 25 for us to know what is happening in the world. Because if we do not start early, then we will be at the points where we are getting frustrated when things are not working out for us. So as young as 13, as young as Nitya, I hope this is a safe space. I can use you as an example. I would like to say that yes, we can, no, irrespective of our ages. And then Marina spoke about design thinking, which is something that is really key. Maybe if you want to succeed, I would like to also just second her, because I believe that in most cases, we always come in with projects without involving the communities, without knowing the needs. So basically, if we do a needs assessment, if we know what we want to tackle, and we don't, I know there's so much in terms of data, there's so much in terms of research, but can we look at individual or community vulnerabilities? Can we look at their needs, so that when we are going into a community, if we're implementing wherever we're implementing, we're not coming in and using data that was done 10, 20 years ago, 5 years ago, and assuming that this is what this specific community needs because of some data. Let us just now dig deeper. And as also Peter mentioned, co-creation is very key. Co-planning is very key. It creates acceptance, and it also creates, it informs on the need, and it also builds on basically community engagement. The acceptance will ensure that they are into this. They are also supporting the cause, because there's nothing for a community without the community. The same way we say there's nothing for us, the youth, without involving the youth. And then lastly, I think I would also like to just say that this is not just a goal that we want to achieve. It is an investment, and it's not just an investment for now, and it's not an investment for the award that we are going to do. It's an investment for the future. Whatever you are doing, let us look beyond the award. Let us look beyond maybe the payments, because most of the time, why I'm also happy about Club 17 is that we are coming in as volunteers. We are coming in because we are passionate about the things we want to handle. So nobody is paying us to do this, and it means that whatever we are going to do, we are going to do it from our hearts. And I believe that that the results will not just be a matter of us getting the award, but just changing the communities and also having an impact and improving the performance of the SDGs. We don't want to stick at 17%. We only have a few years to come. Let us be the people who will get it to 100%. Thank you so much.
All right. I think we need to open a church every Sunday, and this we'll call it just like our Sunday church. Vanessa, I see your camera has been on, and Bidawe, allow me to call you that. I can't leave. We can't just end the meeting without you guys saying sentiment. I see your camera is on and you guys want to share. Who is going first? Vanessa, do you want to go? Yeah, go for it. And then Mrun Mayi. Yeah, I'll come to you shortly.
Yeah. So I would like to echo everything. And I think something that really riles up the youth is when they're told that the time that they really get to know what they want to do is when they're above 25 years old. For example, I am 24. Does that mean that I only start doing what I want to do when I'm 25? It's a bit constraining, because there are children who have had to grow up and become adults as early as 14 years and start taking up adult roles. So where does their space exist? Is it okay for them to take up these leadership spaces? And especially as we come into the rural areas, to dump site areas, or to slum areas, we have so many young mothers. And we can't say that their parents are the ones who told them to make the decisions that they made, because most of them are orphaned or they're street children. So what happens at that stage? Does it mean that they have to reach to 25 in order for them to make the decisions that they are supposed to make? No, not really. So after, I think anyone is in charge of their own decisions, regardless of them being a child, and they should be given the opportunity to do what they want to do. Even as parents, we should let the child have their own identity, even so I was also looking at something called gender transformative action, which starts at the family level, where we look at the gender balance tree. And even the children are included in terms of the roles that they play in the gender balance tree. So if we're able to even balance that at the very core, which we call the family is the smallest unit of society. If we're able to empower people in the rural communities, in the disadvantaged communities, we can have, though I don't like to say it, a bottom-up approach, where the bottom raises up, and therefore we can have a higher level even for people who are up there. Because mostly, if you look at the developing countries and low-income countries, we find that so many people are at the bottom, and most of these people are actually young, like me. Yeah, exactly. 580 million people may still, and most of these people have no parents. They live in single households. Or if they have parents, they're struggling, so they don't even spend enough time with those children. And also, these same people are the people that we want to uplift out of there. So we need to deconstruct some systems and some though sometimes science is good, and I know science is what dictated that at 25 is when your frontal lobe develops. But after but as we look at the current society and the majority of young people and the poor people who are currently in poverty, we need to really rethink the way we convey our messages to people. Are we using inclusive language? Are we using meaningful language? Are we able to bring them to the table in a manner that we are not demeaning them, but we are uplifting them with our words? Yeah, so that is something I would like to pass across to everyone. We should really look at the language we use going forward, because it can really put people down, yet they really want to help out. They really want to be brought in to the fold and to work on our common future. Yes, thank you.
Vanessa, Vanessa, I just wanted to say one thing to you so that it's clear and everyone got my communication. I'm not saying that you have to wait till 25 to do anything. What I'm saying is that 20 and under, a lot of times, no matter where I come from a single parent mother who struggled. And no matter where you are in life, 20 and older, 20 and younger, we usually are listening to our parents. That's where I was coming from. So we haven't been given that space to really fly on our own. So when we leave between that 20 and 25, we get to fly on our own. We get to learn more sometimes, because usually we have our parents telling us what to do, how to do, and whatever that's forming some of our opinions. But 25 and after was what I was trying to say is, when you have that 5-year period, I personally believe that young people should have the opportunity to do what they want to do without the burden of having to save the world. That is the intention of what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to wait till you're 25 to do something. I'm saying that you should have the opportunity to learn the things you want and to be able to do the things you want without having to worry about the world is going to end or this is going to happen. Steve Jobs, who created Apple, didn't worry about that. He was living his life and having a good time, and a lot of people do that. So that's my point to everyone. And I understand rural areas. We're from the South in the States, where it was very poor and we came from a farm. And so I understand exactly where you're coming from. But I just wanted to share that I want to see young people have a life that they choose to have and not have the burden of always having to save the world, but enjoying their lives. That's where I'm coming from. Thanks.
All right. I'll come back to that shortly. It makes a lot of sense. Mrun Maye, dive right in. Tell us in the next two minutes what you have for us.
Yeah, you pronounce it right, actually, Mrun Maye.
Okay.
First of all, I'd like to say how grateful I am for this opportunity. The way I got to know about the Club 17 is actually a very twisted way, to be honest, because I had no clue. As I would like to second Nitya on what she said about how, because I'm 16, so we are never taught about the SDGs or what we can personally do in order to solve the world issues from the grassroots. We are never taught about this, or we are never told that our involvement is possible. Like, for example, for around me, I have seen so many socially unaware people, unaware in the sense that they just find it cool to not know about what is happening around them, or to be living in their own bubble. And it's not that they don't want to know, is that they feel that their contribution might not do, like, people around them have forced them into thinking that their contribution in whatever the is happening around them would not do enough for it to be seen, and therefore they just don't think about helping others as an idea. So when I first like registered myself here, I was told by a lot of people around me, like, do you really think anyone's gonna notice, and do you really think anything's gonna happen? And I always said that I'm just really grateful to be doing something for the world that many people might not have even thought about. I'd like to say that I frequently attend model United Nations conferences, and I've met so many great minds who have so many great ideas for the future of the world, but they just, again, as I said, don't think that their contribution or their thoughts matter as much as they do. And so I really second with Nitya when she said that more more like marketing or more ways should be put out for the youth to know that their voices, it's gonna be heard, like not youth specifically but people in general.
All right. I think I didn't even notice that we were going to have like a 2 hours conversation, but it gets really, really exciting, especially when you listen to people and you guys talk and stuff like this. I just get motivated and inspired, to be honest. So, really insights, deep insights coming along. So I will come back and renew this point that you guys have stated. I see Gail is so passionate about, deeply passionate about us coming together. But I want to just echo or nail this one down to you. Imagine if I had where I sit, if I had the world give me all I needed, I will not be worrying about creating a better world. I'll be jumping out with my girlfriends, having fun, I'll just be doing fun stuff. But because people haven't done their part, I'm not having chance to go have fun with my girlfriend and jump around, swim and do all those things. I'm worried now, how about my children? And that's why I'm diving right in here. So what Gail is trying to tell us, let us just be real. Like as I do this, I enjoy it, I have fun, but should I be focusing on that? Maybe not. But the focus right there is, yes, we want to do what we want to do. And as we do that, we want to make life really interesting. And for you who is looking on this one, there is a challenge right there for you guys can take to join Club 17. But I want to spend just 2 minutes to tell you why probably I didn't have time to share this. Under Global Youth Forum, I see an opportunity with the United Nations Department of Global Communication that probably was leading the civil society conference. And the football for the goals is solid. And happening to be in there and helping shape that and direct that. And I see opportunities I can give to my fellow youth rather than deny them. And this brings me up to what Gail started with, ego thinking. So what the spaces I have, I feel I have more to offer to young people and the people around me rather than block them. And I think that in terms of what we do, I see us thrive because I want everybody over here to thrive. And when I see opportunity, I don't see you guys as a threat. And the issue is when you have the older generation who sees young people as a threat and block them for these opportunities, that is where now the problem starts. The old or the senior citizens, they want to be there and they want to retain their jobs if even they are not doing what needs to be doing. They are not listening to young people. Young people are saying, well, we want to go online and do online campaigns like Nitia. Well, they want to stick around and say, well, we want to write it on paper. But when these people like say, I want to be flexible and listen to what young people have so that we can drive, then you will realize there is more of collaboration. And then Vanessa came and said, well, we don't have to wait until we are 25. Nita, I see your hand. I'm coming to you shortly. We need to start taking actions and doing what we love. So you see that there is a power of collaboration, but when people feel egocentric, they are threatened and they don't want to share these opportunities, their cups are not full, then they are like, well, I just want to block them. So I think that is the challenge where we are in. But with Club 17, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you if I didn't see you complement what I do and I had more opportunities to offer than I can. Because for me, just like I said on the group, I learn a lot of things. Coming to learn and doing like we are having a tournament coming up next year, I see where every Kenyan in Club 17 can be involved. And I don't want to be mean. I want to pass that on to people because I see us grow together so that when even I'm not there, I'm sure Vanessa will dive in with something. Marina can provide the training. Nitia can help us with the campaign and we can change the world together. So coming on, Nitya, did you want to say in the next 10 seconds? If what you are saying is in the next 10 seconds, then you can dive in.
Okay. So, as we are having a quick conversation on the older and younger, I want to just have a conclusion. In the ad, bridging these gaps will require commitment from both generations. We need young people to be open to mentorship and growth, and older generations to make time to share the knowledge and explore authentically. If we can build a culture that values both innovations and integrity, I'm confident we see progress on SDGs accelerate.
There we go. But again, Nitya, this should not be taken for granted, mentorship and coaching. And when older people or the senior citizens want to probably mentor and coach, and I mean genuine mentorship and coaching, I see people play a lot of games. I say I want to mentor Nitya or Vanessa or Marina, and when they call me, I'm always very busy. I don't respond to their calls. I don't send them their messages back, and they're like, my friend, you said you were going to coach and guide me. Where are you? Again, they are very busy citizens and they don't have time for the young people. So the young people just say, I want to go do my thing, just like I feel I want to do it. You see what I mean? So if that changes and the older generation are able to keep their word, then we are more likely to progress. Tito.
I think we have to stop something here. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be the person that stops it. When you say something, one says something, that's the place that they come from. That's the place that people think. We are promoting. And Peter, I know you. You know I know you. You laughing. I want you to laugh because you're going to love this. Peter says things to get people moving. But in this case, we must be careful because older people are not sitting there just waiting to keep their jobs. That's bullcrap. And I'm gonna speak it like it is, and not as a Western person. I'm speaking as a person. Okay. Older people, younger people, you guys keep doing that. There is no differentiation. We're all working together and creating together. As long as you keep that in place, it will keep manifesting itself. What you think is what you act out of, period. And that's anyone. I also want to share that it's all of us working together. Mentorship is not one way. The way I work with mentorship, it's two ways. So if Vanessa is mentoring me, we're in a relationship. Vanessa's mentoring me and I'm working together with her. We're learning from each other. There's no one over the other. And you should never enter a mentorship where one person is working over the other. The woman who used to be the CFO at Facebook, I learned that a long time ago. She said mentorship is two ways. So it's both offering something to each other. And that's important. But this older versus younger, and the older person wants to just keep their job and senior citizens wants to stay in their job, that's a bunch of bull. It happens in different places, but no one size fits all. So we must be careful what we say because it causes more division than it causes coming together. It's all of us working together collaboratively from different spaces using design thinking. I've done design thinking, and I think what Marina said is amazing. So that is where we need to be coming from. When you look at what do you think about Club 17's approach, if it's intergenerational, then let's not even talk about age. Let it be the intergenerational. What can we add or remove? Remove the conversation of older versus younger. Because already I think Vanessa and a couple of people took what I had shared another way, not fully. And the other thing is, what can we add? Instead of hearing, listening. Listening without having our thoughts of what we're going to respond to next, but active listening. Where do we stop listening when people say what we don't want to say? That's something I actually train on. And how can we make it happen? And let me just say one last thing, people. How can we make it happen? We can make it happen by pulling all our ideas together, working together with Peter, and not at all looking at an age. Thank you.
All right, really interesting conversation. And I think we'll come back to that, I think. But as we come to the end of this presentation, what we wanted to achieve, I wanted to get you guys deeply involved, the 17 leaders deeply involved into these conversations. I don't want to, when you see me stand straight and just put my foot down, I really mean what we do. And I really want us, I will be honest, I will be open, and I will tell you I will do this from the heart, whether people are paying me or not. But I want my children and my children's children and my friends' children and the people I'm around, at least when I leave the planet Earth, they will know, like, they might be able that we saw somebody or we saw a group of people who are championing for this thing. And that's why I wanted to involve you deeply on this conversation and to get us going on what we do. So far, I'm impressed with what we've done as a team. So a call to action to all of us. Together, can we build the 17 teams? I'm setting up the 17 leaders. I will go out and find out the 4 remaining leaders. If you do have somebody you can recommend, so passionate, so keen, please do let me know. Marina, Liz, Gail, I will work with you to come up with a guide on the design thinking that Club 17 can utilize to come up with their projects or build a prototype for their initiative. So I will get you on that. How do we want the pitching sessions done? Tito, you've told us something. Can we use that as a template to just start building something up? How do we want pitching done? We will work on a sample and a guide for that. How will an SDG project impact look like? Just like I told you, for me, people go out and start mentioning, well, we've empowered. I was speaking to a friend the other day. He told me, well, we've empowered over 3,000 people with jobs. Then I asked him, take me where the 3,000 jobs are. He did not even take me to one. So you find people come up with reports to manipulate stuff, and then it is not something that can be quantified or measured on the ground. We want Club 17 to be able to turn around and say, we did not do much. An example, I know Liz is in an SDG, or Tito is on an SDG, Marina is on an SDG. If you only empowered 5 girls and you can turn around and say, these are my 5 girls, we are more confident with that. Rather than people coming and telling us like they've changed the world, but in real sense, they haven't done it. Probably that's why we are at 17%. How do we want reporting done? Do we want to bombard people with files and papers, or do we want just videos and simplicity showing the impact? How do we want to award people? And then can we keep the momentum going every single year and people doing their part? I will be sure with you, my friend, if you stick here for the next 3 years, I know you are passionate about it. Other people will come. Club 17 will be like a bus. You come, you move to the next level, you pass the baton to other people, and then we move on. Tell me, you go online and you see people do videos on TikTok and everything, but you ask them to just do this video and then they struggle with it. What can we do? We can inspire them to show them what is in it for them. We can't force them, but we can tune people to take actions now and help us build the future that we want. Gail, I hope you are reading this one. Not probably like on a bad way, but this was something posted somewhere. We need to change systems, and we can't just use the old system to solve the current issues. And that's why we have to come together, regardless of who we are, where we live, gender, race, age, and everything, to solve our issues and bring the change that we want. Now, that
Peter,
for me,
I can't relate to that one because I'm not old enough to be a grandmother.
Oh, okay, we will get you. But listen, my friend, I tell you, it is so much fun to be part of something you are deeply passionate about, and you can do it even somebody's not paying you to do it. And I tell you, for me, where I sit and I do this thing, I just find joy. It is on Sunday. I should be having fun. I should maybe driving down the beach. But I'm here talking to you for 2 hours just to set something that is really right, that will bring all the voices together. That shows me, Tito, you did go ahead and prepare presentation. Marina, now look, you are coming to give us design thinking. I'm telling you, if people are going to pay me all this stuff I do, I'll be rich. I'll be having my own private jet.
It might be a way to get funding for this initiative. So don't underestimate this idea.
I'm sure we will. But yeah, so again, we've done 2 hours. I'm now just like off for 2 hours. Like the next 9 minutes, I'm just here to listen to you guys. And then we can call it a Sunday. We've worshipped. And even God knows we've done our part. So that even when my child come in future and say, what did you do? Well, watch that video, my friend. This is what your dad did to ensure you guys had a good life. So I have to say thank you all for tuning in. And I think for me, we are collecting from your comments, the ones you shared, Liz, I saw your sentiments. I see we are starting something solid. And for me, why I think we are going to thrive. I'm not threatened by any of you, whether you are better than me or not. I know I have something for you and you will be helping me achieve the bigger dream. So in no way, I will make my mistakes. And I know you guys can come and compliment my mistakes. And together, we will build something solid. And in any case, you see me you make mistake, just come around and say, Peter, you are messing around. I will just smile and we will solve it. I'm not threatened because I feel together we have the space. And when people see that, they will come and want to work with us. It is going to be hard, but it is going to be fun. So with that, I conclude my sentiments for today. And I hope that you guys help us and together we can build Club 17 membership and then get the ball rolling so that when it comes to the review of Pact for the Future next year, not next year, in 2028, we have something to showcase. Thank you, everybody.
Peter, I have a question for you. How could Club 17 get them to review the Pact every year? I think 2028 is just too far away.
Quick answer will be the department where I come from. I won't say it's easy, but it's always like what we will be doing. I will be piling that up because I have links with the UN Department of Global Communication, where we can, like what we do globally, we can always, each team can be sharing like their short report, and I could be sharing that. And then within my space or within my space of my influence, I can find ways to share that with the key stakeholders and people keen doing things. That will be my approach. But I think first we got to get something going on the ground and prove that it is working so that people can listen to us. I did share this with the team, and they do like Club 17. Only like I have to be very sure that the team we are putting together can be able to do things. And Tito, I know you can add on this one based on the meeting you had in Nairobi. Tito.
Hi, Peter. I won't add now unless you text me to the group because I didn't get what you're saying because I'm not feeling well actually. But yes, I will add on it.
Okay, cool, Paul. So the idea there I'm saying is through my mechanism, we can get what we are doing to the key people within the department to share our stories from all parts of the world. So I just think it's a matter of building our teams and getting those teams solid. And then I think finally we will be having specific teams like Vanessa. We need to see your members grow up, by the way. We want to build that. And then Tito, we can be having session with only that club and we can invite other members to join to see what you are talking at. So it will be club-based discussions because like you see now we are 17 leaders, each team having their thing and the conversation can go for 5 hours. We need like a whole day conference. But I want you to imagine either Marina comes with team 10 and today we are only talking team 10, team 10 issues for 1 hour. Gail comes with team 11 and we are only talking for team 11, but we invite other members. So it is team-based conversations that will move us forward and ensure we are like strategic. But now I know we have solid leaders and I know now we are going to grow our teams. Anyone with anything before we run away? Meaning next time we will just aim for 2 hours call. So we have enough time. But if we want to catch up like really, really quick, we'll be doing just 1 hour and then we can build the momentum. Please,
Peter,
you want to add something?
Will you edit the video? Edit this Zoom?
No, this is natural. We want people to, for example, what I do, my friend, I don't want to hide that I'm doing that. It's open. If anybody wants to go check it, look, my friend, it is there. And that's what young people are doing. The intergenerational are doing. Listen to what they are saying. If you want to be part of us with our honesty and genuineness, this is our space and we love it.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Good. Who wants to add something?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it, Liz.
Okay, I know I'm newly in. I joined the group yesterday. Is it yesterday or the day before yesterday? and just understanding how we're going to work. I'm also calling up upon the members who are in here. If you know anyone who's interested or championing SDG 5, that is gender equality on matters gender, kindly just reach out to me. I will be able, I know if you go into the group, you'll be able to see my number. You can reach out to me directly. And I'm also looking for male or the other gender, yeah, because I have a number of females, but I do not have quite a good number in terms of the male representation. And I know male engagement is very key in terms of achieving gender equality. So if you know of anyone, please welcome them into my group. Thank you.
All right, there we go. Anything else? All right, that then marks the end of our second convening. Team leaders, let us dive right in. Go make the magic happen. For me, I will be in there for you. And if you don't let me down, I will try not to let you down. I will say thank you for your time.